What's happening, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of the walkthrough for Shadow of the Erdtree. Picking up from the Scorched Ruins. So now that we have completed our early run around, we are officially ready to get started with the DLC. Before we head out this episode, there are a few quick things I want to cover with you guys. So we came over here with more of a Dex Faith build, and that is what eventually, what I will be going with as far as the weapons I would like to get. However, they don't come a while, so I have decided to do a full respec. This way I can also get my base stats completely wrapped up. So 60 health, that's about the best you're going to do. 30 mine's plenty. 25 endurance, plenty for our weight. And then we'll be going with more of a quality faith build. This will allow me to show off, some of the weapons. And then when we get the main weapons I would like to use, I will, be specking on into dialing in those stats later on. Now, the first thing we're going to be doing to get this out of the way is the Furnace Skull. Now, this guy's very tedious. He's very much a chore. I don't find it a good time. It's a very long fight. It's a very tedious fight. So pretty much you have to do enough damage to him. It can be charge attacks, but mainly regular attacks. But once you do enough damage, you'll eventually hear a pop. Once you hear 3 pops, then he'll be staggered. You can get big damage off and help put him down. The fact of the matter is you need to do 2 critical attacks, so it takes a lot to actually make that happen. So there are some things we could do. We can go in here with the Dagger Talisman. This is going to boost critical hits to do even more damage. When we do get that critical off, we could use the Mazzacord, because the Mazzacord does have that 140 crit modifier, so you're going to get, much, a lot more damage on those critical hits with this. And then I'm going to be going in with World Knight's Resolve, so we can do that buff before we get that crit for another 80% damage boost. So this is going to be very smart, and it's going to help out quite a bit. And as far as the posture damage, Stone Barb Cracketeer is going to be nice. We can boost our damage a bit with spells, but the main gist of it is you just got to sit here and avoid a lot of his bullshit while you're just attack, and it takes a long time. Now, he is kind of lording over the area, and it's going to make things much more difficult. So I do think it's best to just try to get him down. So if he stomps at you with 1 foot, just jump over it, a foot or it doesn't matter. My reaction time was shit on that one. But you just jump over that. If he jumps with 2 feet, you need to run completely away, because the AoE burst is actually in the air too. So you could go down real stats, things like that. If he does a grab attack, this is going to be a one-shot. He's going to pick you up, put you in the top of him, and grind you into the furnace itself. Even at 60 health, full health bar, you're just dead. That's all there is to it. So there's definitely a few things to watch out for. Mainly, it's just later on when we fight them, they have different abilities that make them even worse. Somehow they become worse, but we're not there yet. Right, there's 1 pop. Stone Barb helps. I think if you went in here with like Morning Star or Great Stars, that would help too. And sometimes you can, look at that. Even with Torrent taking all the damage, he did like 90% of our health. Sometimes you can get iframes when you summon up Torrent and like sit right in the frame. It's challenging. The window for it is very tight. And you can also stomp. Try to jump towards that other leg, if possible. Working. There's 2 pops. Like I said, you could use charge heavy, but I think it's more about damage instead of posture damage. Like once you do a certain amount, I could be wrong. But I just noticed using charge heavy over and over again, it didn't cut off any time. So we'll do that way too. Just kind of test it live with you guys. See what holds up better. But yeah, most likely spells like Rock Sling, weapons like Great Stars or Morning Star, Great Hammer, probably going to be better choices. I'd have to do more testing. There's later weapons we get here too that also make that a little bit easier. Unfortunately, we just don't have access to it yet. Charge heavies aren't really shorting anything up much. Probably not far off. But it's just because of the amount of damage we've already done. Oh god, he's sneaky fuck. So we got him right when he was about to get us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buff up every single way. And believe it or not, you actually got quite a bit of time here. So Flame Therapy Strength. There's the Mazzacord. So you got plenty of time. Yeah, look at that. 40,000 now. 40,000 there. Now, time to do it again. So eventually it won't be so bad, guys, because it won't take 2 criticals. You'll get like 1 critical, and then after that, while you're trying to break the stagger again, you'll end up just doing the damage to kill. But this is, you know, it's a bit off. I just try to do a double jump every move now. Awesome. Not the grab, not the grab, not the grab. Okay, good. Yeah, the grab's pretty scary. One. Yeah, let's go ahead and heal, you know, just to be safe. Two. Yeah, look at our resources too. He's just fucking us up, dude. Right out of that hill. Not want to be in front of him. Makes you very susceptible to the grab. Going away again. You see how we got caught in the air there? That's what I'm saying. You can't just jump that. Unfortunately. There we go. Sword dance for the win. But, you know, that's the best way to deal with it. So now that you do have them taken out, you're going to get a few things. You're going to get a tier, then you're going to get crafting. Now, the furnace visage is extraordinarily rare crafting ingredient. It is related to a quest later on, so, you know, we're definitely going to want that. Now, last episode, I was touching, I didn't talk much about it, but I was touching on the fact that if you're usually, you know, a kind of guy that plays with parry play style, right? You're getting parries off, you're getting criticals. I was heavy into that. But the enemies are so different here, you don't know the movesets, and some of you have a hard time with that. I would go more into a deflection playstyle or even a guard counter playstyle. So with that being said, what we just got here, you're deflecting hearts here. How it works is if you were to use your flask, instead of holding up block, which you always want to let off anyways for stamina, but if you like perfectly time a block, almost like a, you know, parry in most games, just L1 at the last second, it does like no stamina damage, so you won't lose any stamina. And then your guard boost damage, posture, and regular damage are boosted, so it stacks. So what this means is, if I just do it the last second once, my guard counters will be boosted. If I do it twice, it'll be boosted even more. But it stacks up to 3 times, so it's kind of like parry, parry, third one, guard counter, you get the most amount of posture damage and, you know, regular damage added to that guard counter. So it's really nice, really, really cool. Unfortunately, it is going to be linked to your flask, which is, you know, very unfortunate, but I mean, you know, if you're just doing a little area stream there, it's not so bad. So yeah, while we talk about that, we're really just going over here to the scorched ruins and clearing out the, you know, the guys at the bottom, and I'll kind of let you guys know the plan, because they got to go regardless. Takes a second. Alright, that's about good enough. So next location is obviously going to be the Scorched Ruins. Now we want to face north, right? So we want to get in front, kind of how we came in last episode. We're going to go into the left side. It is going to take a few loops around to get all the items, so just, you know, keep that in mind. But going into the left-hand side is going to be best because we can just kind of loop around the top, you know, get all the items. Sure, you're not going to miss anything. So as you go through, you're going to notice you're kind of in between 2 buildings here. We're going to get some crafting right here on the left. Then if you loop around the left on the outside, you can get some more. So black fireflies are a very important crafting ingredient. Even if you think, oh, I don't do crafting, just know there are some hidden secrets where you are going to need to craft, certain pots. Aside from that, we're just looping around right now, guys. Aside from that, as someone that never crafted in the base game, I found myself crafting all the time. Every item here is very specific to the DLC. The regular crafting items are not going to be here. So I highly recommend getting it all. You don't have to run around open fields, guys, right? Don't be a smartass. I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, I mean, don't be smarts about it. But when we go through these areas, if it's right here, pick it up. It's gonna, it's gonna add up. It's gonna help you out. So once we get into our first building here, Shadow Realm Room 2. That's about the only item hiding behind the pot you have to worry about. You got two guys up here that are just spam pops all day long at you. So it's going to take them out. Then we're going to go over here and grab a multiplayer item right off the rooftop. Now we're good to move on. Not resin. It's almost like your root resin, but there are enhanced additions to like your fire buffs and your fire grease, magic grease, all that stuff. So there's going to be better versions because the enemies do have so much health here. So it's going to be like stronger, stronger fire grease, stronger magic grease, and your not resin is what you need to grab that. So as we go through, like I said, it's going to take a few loops. So as soon as you get to the other rooftop here, you're just going to drop to your right, get some more fireflies. This is like a regular pickup, so that's what you would have saw in the window. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure you just got to run through it again. I've not actually seen a way to get back up from there. But everybody's dead, so it's not going to be too bad. And we're back. Alright, y'all. So now we've got that cut up. We're really just going straight across for your first talisman. First real talisman. We picked up one last episode because we did an early run around. It gave you like constant mana regen. But this is like the first one you'd naturally find, and it's a good one too. So pretty much anytime you do a critical attack, whether that be from a parry or backstab, you're going to get a buff. Lasts for a minute, boosts your damage for 20%, but it can stack. So if you did like 2-3 backstabs back to back, you can get an extra 40 or 60% more damage for a minute. So it is quite nice. Now once we got that, we're just going to drop right here. Get your fireflies, then jump across for some of your mushrooms. Is that your red flesh mushrooms? Yep. Another pretty important item. Now dropping here, we'll get you guys your first cookbook for those hefty crack pops. Firstly, deal with the riprap. Alright guys, so right here, that's your first cookbook, so that's your greater potentates. I do apologize for my annoying dogs in the background. Then we go on down for your first hefty crack pot. Alright, so without the cookbooks, the hefty crack pots are virtually useless, so make sure you pick that up. So for everyone that's seen the trailer, those are those really big pots you saw in the trailer. Or anyone coming in late, it's pretty good. Instead of the regular pots, it's going to vastly do more damage for sure. So, just another item added to the DLC. Because since the DLC's been out for about a year at this point, some people might just be coming to the game late because, they started playing Night Rain. And that's why we just did, the Platinum walkthrough for Elden Ring. We just finished it up. This is a newer channel, right? So a little bit behind, but this will help you guys out for years to come. So I will be covering it. But if I ever, mention something from a trailer, something you guys might not be familiar with, I will make sure we break it down. Either way, guys, with that, we are wrapped up the Scorched Ruins. Now, from here, what sucks, it almost feels like a waste of time, is we're going to have to cover stuff we did last episode, because when we did a run around, we got you like a level tier here. Over here, we got you a weapon, because it was right in reach. We got you a scatter tree. It's like this whole area, we're not even going to touch this again. If you haven't followed along, which you should, because I'm not going to keep covering the same things. It's not fair to everyone else. But just take the main road down. You fight a knight right in the door. You get a guaranteed great hammer, does holy damage. You're going to get a scatter tree fragment. Back here, you get America's blessing, and there's a little camp over here for fire core. Once you do that, there's going to be an invader in the woods over here. But, we've already covered this, so we're not going to go back to it again. I will mention it. Now, as far as moving from here, what we are going to do is just box in this little area and just kind of go around and clear everything. Now, we already got everything. It's really just like one painting. But, just so we know it's all done, that's the plan. Good news is now you have your furnace golem out the way. It's going to make life much easier. So what we're going to be doing is just going down the main road and just like kind of getting to this corner and just going around, boxing it in and just doing a big loop around. Because there are, there's like one or two little loose items. Just, make sure we got 100% of it. So you're about to meet the new death birds for this game. And they're not really, death birds like that. They're similar, but they're very different. There are some later that will use magic. It's like Ghost Flame and, Frostbite type stuff. But the first ones are just more irritating with their moveset, so they're really not that serious. But with that being said, I do highly recommend you guys take them out because they all drop smithing stones, 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s. And it's a lot cheaper than, buying them from the Round Table Hold. So like I said, we're really just going to be going down and kind of going through. We'll be going for that structure again. We'll stop by here. So we're just going to kind of just close it off with a big loop here, guys. So sticking to the edge first. These are the guys I was just talking about. So they are going to drop good smithing stones. It's not guaranteed every time, but it happens enough that it does justify taking them down when you see them. Plus, they're super annoying. You don't want these guys all that long. It's pretty simple to take it down with guard counters. That's what I would do. Then over here, you start seeing these structures. So this is where your item was that we missed. Well, we didn't miss it. We just weren't doing content yet. That's going to be right here. I think there's one more bird behind us. Yeah, there he is. Hey, buddy. Bye, buddy. Alright, once we got that, we can really just hop on Torrent for the rest of it. I mean, we'll shoot over to this tree real quick. This is mainly just to show you guys. You got a bird. We got some mushrooms. There's nothing here. Yep. Now, I will say sometimes by these structures out in the world, you will find items. A lot of times consumable, but there's like a hidden armor set. Like, there's like one piece in every region, and you have to kind of follow birds up to these, memorials, and you'll get like one piece of the set. It might be a helm, might be greaves, it just kind of comes. So this is where you got your dual blades last episode. If you guys were not following along, that will be right here. Clear these guys out. So these are like madness enemies. They're almost like followers of the Lord of Frenzy. Not so bad just yet. Later on, they can be a bit of a hassle. These are early game versions. What's weird too is you won't see them again for a long time. Not until it's like the end of the walk. Alright, once you got them out, all we're going to be doing, we can remove all that, is if you follow this cliff, you see it's like got a little V shape where it kind of tucks back. We got a painting right here. Now, unlike the painting we solved last episode, this one you're not going to solve to the end. In fact, if you solve it too early, you're going to set off a trigger and miss items. So, this is, it's really important stuff. I know when I did the Platinum walk through the base game, there was a lot of paintings, and to be honest, the rewards aren't always that great. So, the capital painting and then the painting from Mountaintops of the Giants, we were really busy with what we were covering. The episodes we picked them up, so like, oh, we'll go back later. Then I literally forgot to do it before we took out the fire giant and got locked out of those. So, there's only a few to solve here. We're not going to miss them. I promise. They're much more rewarding. It's not something we want to go back to later in this instance. We solved all the other paintings. I knew how to solve them. It's just I was supposed to do it at a certain time. We were short on the episode, meant to go back and didn't. So I did pin a comment so you guys know how to solve these on your own. But, that's not going to happen here. Now, one of my followers mentioned this, so I wanted to bring it up. We were getting towards the end of the walk, he was like, oh, you told us to remind you, and I'm like, motherfucker, we never went. So, not to worry here, there's it's in our notes, there's a very specific episode in mind. because they relate to quests and stuff, so we won't miss them. It's the same thing, guys. We're just, once you got your pictures, going straight down. That's that camp we cleared for the scatter tree fragment. Then the only other thing is right here. It's got to be nighttime. You're going to see a blue glow. That will get you a larval here. So at this point, all this is knocked out. We've already, knocked all this out last episode, so we're not worried about it. So what we're going to do from here is jump back to Gravesite Plain. Check our time. Yeah, 20. I felt like we were doing pretty good. So from Gravesite Plain, this one you can't miss. You're just going to follow this around. There'll be a few little birds. So what we're going to do is just kind of loop around and circle back into a mausoleum for a boss fight. Now, I love the mausoleums in this game. So mausoleums, I'm sorry, the DLC is so big I consider it to be almost a sequel at times. But the mausoleums, instead of duplicating boss remembrances, they're going to have mini bosses. When you take out the mini bosses, you get a very unique armor set. And on top of that, you're also going to get the weapon. So it's very, very, very rewarding, but also very, very difficult for the most part. This guy I did struggle with a bit. When I first came here, I'm like, dude, this guy's too dangerous to be right at the start of the DLC, I felt like, But just guard counter him. It's going to keep him interrupted. It's going to put him down quite easily, in my opinion. Like I said, we will go ahead and clear out the area. It's not really loose items, but these guys could drop some of the stuff if you want. Yeah, they don't like thrust attacks. You hit them with a slash, you just hit them, but if you hit them with a thrust, you just kind of put them right on their ass. Good thing about the light greatsword and what I said, if I was to recommend one of the new weapon types, it'd be the light greatsword because you have thrust and you have slashes. It's either one or the other usually, so it just holds up very well for almost anything. Now going through here's your white flesh mushroom. These you don't always see, so I'd go and pick those up. Aside from that, we're really good to get into the mausoleum. If you guys want to just kind of go around and get your crafting, you can do that. If you want to take out your birds, you can do that. But other than that, we're ready for our fight. Alright. If they're fucking with you, put them down. Okay, guys, so from there, we're going to go on into the mausoleum. Now, I haven't mentioned these guys yet because we haven't really seen many. Don't fuck with them. The worms, do not fuck with them. They're not like the first game. They're not just going to sit there and swiggle around a bit. No, these guys, their head will get really big. They'll try to headbutt you. They have, like, these tentacles growing out of their mouth. Spaceship. If you smack one, they all get allergic for one. And look at that. It's just a mess. So don't fuck with them. You're not going to get nothing for it. I mean, you might get the same rewards as far as, like, your rune fragments, but, not really worth your time. So going on down to the Western Nameless Mausoleum. This guy's just going to be a knight. He's going to have a shield. I think it's a crossbow. I forget. I don't think he has a shield. Yeah, I think it's just his greatsword and the crossbow. So the crossbow is a multi-hit crossbow. You're guaranteed to get killed if you get hit by it because shooting like explosive arrows. But it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So just run to the side from that. Hell, I think you could walk to the side. So just ignore it. He might do like a jump attack, really big swipes, regular greatsword. His Asher War is pretty deadly. Asher War will send a arc similar to Vacuum Slice. Then he's gonna kind of slide it up from the ground, do like this 360 swipe, and then throw off another arc, and it just does a lot of damage. Every time he hits you, it's like 60% of his health with light attack. So he can be a dick. So what I would suggest doing: deflection hard tier, stone barb crack tier. But stone barb's not really gonna break his stance, but it's always a good find. So this is almost guaranteed. Like I said, you literally just walk for it. You do that, we're gonna have to run. But we're gonna use his guard counter here, guys. And we'll kind of just keep interrupting them. And every one of these fights, they always have at least one heal. I'll just let them get over and done with. Not good. Parries work really good for this guy too, y'all. Parries work extremely good for this guy. If he ends up putting me down, we'll show you that tactic. Probably the better one if you parry. This is something anyone can do, I feel like. Despite if you're a parry god or not, you guys can do this pretty, little to no issue, I feel like. Yeah, look at that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. 2 light attacks, you're dead. 2 fucking light attacks. That's wild shit. That's what I said. I think that's a bit much from Soft. It's like the first guy you fight in the DLC. That's just kind of ridiculous. But, it's really not that bad. When I was taking notes, I beat him first try. We just happened to get caught. But yeah, now that that happened though, might as well show you the parry mechanics for this. Actually, yeah, golden parry on that. So I would recommend buckler shield or golden parry because it's going to give you better frames on on those hits. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. Everything it's kind of good for it. I think my flash is utterly useless. I'm just used to popping it. One that's good or soul. Yeah, so usually lead in with this. Just run to the side. Get out the way. That will kill you for sure. Oh god. Oh, dead. Dude, get over. Hey. There's the door. Delay. Then swipe again. Come on, bitch. Yeah, I guess I'm like extremely rusty. I promise it's like the way to beat him. Just I'm a little off. God, that's some cowardly shit. You boom, and then you're just getting big chunks of health with that. You can usually shit. Yeah, but yeah, that's the mechanic for it. Things just didn't go our way. Yeah, so Duke's tough, man. I mean, for just getting to the DLC is a bit much. And then I already got you guys like a bunch of blessings and shit too. So you have you got upgrades, and and he's still doing exactly that. I don't think we really need to deflect hearts here with parries, though. Yeah, if I had to recommend a way to do it, it would be this way. No doubt about it. Come on, dickhead. Thank you. Use that to roll nice resolve a bit. Get ready. Is the next attack. Dodge, delay, dodge. That's how you deal with that. Panic, you're gonna get caught with that. Why are you fucking spamming Ash's board, you frick? What kind of cowardly shit's that? Like a fucking new player or something, spamming Ash's. We don't do that shit. No sir, Bob. God, he's so hard to read. I think that's the other thing. Like, just to figure out what the hell he's trying to do. Delay. Yeah, he just awfully fucking spammy today. What is going on? Yeah, usually this is the way. We'll just guard counter and fuck him. I used to have this like so dialed in. Now this is more of a strategy I just wanted to mention. It was never actually, the strategy for the walkthrough. Guard counters once. Guard counters deflect hearts here. That's what the plan was. But I did want to show that off. But yeah, I used to have that so dialed in, bro. So dialed in. I don't know what the hell my problem is. Alright, let's get it. So Royal Knight's Resolve, you can switch weapons, by the way, to still get that damage boost. It doesn't have to be on the dagger, guys. Alright, go ahead and do it. See, the thing with it is, like I told you guys before, with Deflect Heart here, if you can line up that perfect timing, you don't take any stamina damage. So you can just sit here and do this all fucking day. All day, bro. Dodge. Yeah, you thought you could heal. You know what I'm saying? It's just easy shit. I was just stuck with the plan. Try to get that quick back swipe. So that was the strategy for the walkthrough stuff. Like I said, the first time we happened to get caught, but all in all, it's pretty foolproof there. So, Great Sword of Solitude, you saw the Astral War he does. Very good quality weapon, strength weapon. Really nice. If you just want like a solid ass physical great sword, that's very much it. Like a straight up knight build, that's your guy. So, Helm of Solitude, the whole set. And this is like the nicest armor set in the game, I think. And it's I think it's like the second highest poise. I mean, it's like right up there with Bull Goat set, but the Bull Goat set looks like shit, and this one looks really good. Like I would like to put it on. We do not have anywhere. You'd have to have like 50 endurance to wear this. If you wanted to like cosplay him, you wanted to do his exact set, you need like 50 fucking stamina to pull it off. Unfortunately, it's just so heavy. I mean, the chest piece is like fucking 25 pounds alone. But I do still want to show it off because, like I said, it's one of the nicer sets in the game. Undoubtedly so. Look at that. Like, that's a straight up knight. You got a nice cape. But it's not just like they were in heavy load. All we have is a light ass weapon. Think about it, guys. All we have is a light ass weapon. 6 pounds. Shield, 6 pounds. Dagger, 2 pounds. So you're looking at, was that 14 pounds of stuff? This weighs nothing. That's it, guys. 14 pounds. And this isn't just like your fat rolling. You can't even roll. You can't even walk. You're over encumbered. That's how heavy it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. Super, super good set though. Just 99% of builds are never gonna get to enjoy it, unfortunately. So that puts you down in heavy by taking off the helm, but you can't actually use it. You don't want to go through the game fat rolling, guys. It's the worst possible thing you could ever do. Let's get our shit back right. What's that? Banished Knights. Do we have like Blast? Yeah. That's usually my go-to. Banished Knight, we're at medium. Looking good. Looking good. But yeah, super, super, super good step. Then from here, we can really just jump back to Scorched Ruins. There's nothing along the way right here, guys. So everything up to 3 Paths Cross is done. So actually, we just jump there. Give me 1 second so I can check my notes here, guys. Yeah, so we passed the NPCs. Yeah, we didn't touch the NPCs. Okay, so from 3 Paths Cross, you're going to have 2 NPCs. You're going to have Freya, and then you're going to have the Horn Scent. So there's a lot of quest lines with the DLC. Usually, I mean, you're really not going to truly get into them into the second half, but there are multiple steps you are going to have to do to line this up. Freya's just going to mention how she used to serve Radahn, used to battle aside Radahn. Her quest will pick up later on, so for now, just exhaust the dialogue. This will also mention the Horn Scent to you.
Oh, another thing. Did you speak to our dour little friend? If you've yet to do so, have him give you a map of the Cross's whereabouts. You'll find more of them dotted about these lands. They are Miquella the Kind's footprint. If you've yet, assuming you...
Okay, so just make sure you're exhausted. As far as the lore goes, we told you guys last episode, Miquella is trying to become a god, so he is shedding parts of his body. That's what these crosses are. There's 2 NPCs. You're going to have the Horn Scent, then you're going to have Ansbach. And they both are going to give you crosses. Now, the thing about the crosses is this is where you get your upgrades, but, there's story implications as well. So, this is where America's from. She's from, the Shadow Realm here. So, before she went over there in the Golden Order, erdtree, and all that stuff, she was born here. Her people were slaughtered by the townsfolk. So, she had one of her demigod children burn the erdtree here, burn the villages, burn the castles, and, kill everyone responsible, and a lot of innocents as well. So, Horn Scent is from the town folks. He does not care for anything. The Golden Order, the erdtree, lands between America, none of it. However, he knows that Miquella has promised to make things right and, all these other things. So he doesn't want to work with us, but he will because we both serve Miquella.
Fie, another. Treading the heels of Miquella. Then, as that woman would surely say, we are in our purposes well aligned, but understand, your kind are not forgiven. The erdtree is my people's enemy. By Marika long betrayed. Set aflame. I believe Miquella's apologies when he says our delivery will come, but never will I see your kind as worthy. And yet my oath I cannot overlook. If Miquella it is whom you would seek, then comrade, allow me to give you this. These are the sites of the crosses I found. I urge you, follow after Miquella. As long as you abide by his footfalls, you will be no enemy to me.
Alright, so that's going to give you the cross map if you were to pull up your inventory. The one in the middle we're at right now, the one to the right is in a later castle, the one to the left is in a later castle. So, all the ones we could get, we have. And so you didn't want to go crazy with it. You got to worry about triggers and, other things, but we got you guys a few upgrades. But yeah, these maps will just kind of point to upgrades. So everything from the bridge up, this is like next episode territory. What we're going to be doing is heading towards your first legacy dungeon under this cliffside like we did last episode. And we're working our way back into this village and, wrapping up with that. If you just head straight on back, we have 2 more NPCs to meet. That's going to be Moore and Ansbach, so we can get into their quest lines. And then we will be heading over to a arcane village, which is, good fun. A lot of blood loss enemies, a lot of pains in the asses. You guys are going to love it. I mean, it's not that challenging, but it's like super easy to get put down to the thing. So if you did not follow along up to this point, we did come here last episode. You notice the doors are open. We went and grabbed your spirit ash right inside. We didn't do anything, but we've already made it here. We did not touch the NPCs because we did not actually start on content at that point. However, we do have the Side of Grace. We did have our fragment. Make sure you interact with all these, which we've already done. So as soon as you get here, you can go over here, talk to Moore. I talked to Moore first because Ansbach has dialogue about him.
Work together. Many things.
He's going to be like a special merchant type dude. But he also serves Mikla, and he also has a quest line, so you can get a set and really nice great shield, a few other things. So like I said, there will be advanced versions of pretty much every consumable in the DLC. So instead of having spellproof liver, now you have spellproof pickled liver. Same thing with all your other ones. And then down here, instead of was it turtlenecks, you have pickled turtlenecks. So just advanced versions. Then you're gonna have like crafting stuff, a few things over here. Just about the Forge of Brood, which relates to his quest line. So the main gist of it is, if you see the pests from Kayla, don't attack them. They're related to a quest. The only ones that are actually enemies are at the very end of the DLC. If you do so, you fuck up Moore's quest. So, we'll cover this.
You must be the Tarnished.
Now, Ansbach used to serve Moog.
Formerly in service to Lord Moog.
One of the most interesting
but now,
side
like
quests in the
you,
game.
another soul guided by kindly Mikola. I'm hardly the steady hand I once was. My fighting days are far behind me, which is why I have chosen to dedicate myself to investigation, to discern Tender Mikola's ultimate purpose. I'd rather not volunteer service to a new master, unless I know that I can be of use. May I request a service of you? 6 crosses, identical to this one, have been discovered in these lands. They are akin to Tender Mikola's footprints, or gravestones, which mark what he's left behind. If you discover any more crosses, be certain to tell me. I presume you, too, are keen to know just what kind Mikola is doing here.
Alright, so once we have their dialogue exhausted, and to talk about Ansbach for a second, he served Lord Moog, but he's, getting into his quest, he's not going to have ill will towards us. A lot gets revealed, about that. He's very, very much a friend. So, for anyone curious, because we did take Moog out, you'll see it play out, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but, he's not an enemy. So, from here, we're just going to go around the cliffside and work our way on over to Cliffroad Terminus. Now, we already have this from last episode, but I didn't touch any of the items, so that's what we're going for now. So just head back on out, stick to the right-hand side. Give me like a few bats along the way. That's your lower portion. You see like these little spectral crosses, but there's really, nothing to get aside from this right here. We'll take care of the doggies. We don't even have to drop a corn on. Maybe for the bats because they fly around kind of hectically, but so you got 3 3s there. Pretty much the only shit you're gonna get. Oh, 2 for 1 deal. I love it. Alright, there we go. So now we're all cleared to our first Side of Grace. Let's go and rest, de-aggro, reset. So there are, just to mention because we're about to get one, there are going to be bell bearings in the DLC. This is not related to invasion events as before. They're very obscure, very, very, very challenging to find. You're going to eventually go through and see pots hanging from the sides of rocks and cliffs. That's why they're almost impossible to find. So you are going to want a ranged option here. So I would just put on whatever lightest bow you have if you're trying to manage that weight, or whatever range you have. But thing about incantations is they're better for mid-range. Their damage, not their damage, but their range falls off, and it's hard to hit things too far away. So a bow, or maybe mage builds, you guys would be better suited for this. So the first thing we're going to be doing is just going to the right-hand side, clearing all this. And then right about here will be your bell bearing, just kind of overlooking, you know, your little village here. So these are arcane enemies. They all are going to be doing blood loss. They can like cough up blood loss at you. It's pretty nasty. They're not too bad. Like your guard counters go down. Thought there was another big fella closer, but all right, maybe that was him. Now, last episode we went over here and got a graveyard for another scatter tree fragment. So I guess we'll clear it. Over here there might be another loose loot, but you know we've already covered it. Let's take him out. We're gonna kind of circle around for those guys. I was thinking about if we should go and take them out now, but that'll pull everyone off course. Alright, so running straight back, this is going to be your gravestone, the guy with the pot. He is going to, you know, drop your scatter tree fragment, but only the very first time. So after that, what's going to happen is you will drop items that are similar to silver and gold pickle falcon. There's silver and gold corn tenders, which is like the DLC's version of those, you know, of those items. It takes so long to just die off so you can pick up the item. So you gotta sit here and just, you know, just die, bro. Not that complicated. Alright. We'll grab your ghost globe work. Then, like I said, you saw those two big guys. Where are they? Yeah, there's some right here, but there's also a few back in this corner. And that's, you know, just like I said before, we're just going all the way around till we overlook the village, which will be right here. There's gonna be two of these guys. Badass. Here. Now there's one. Ooh. Ooh. He's unleashing the whole combo. Thank you. Alright, so once you take him out, this is where you, like I said, just kind of overlooking the village. Let's shoot that down. It's your first bell bearing. I have no upgrades in this fucker. Let's see what it does, if it does any damage to it at all. 119 together. This would take like a year. Oh, there's that blood loss. That's what I was warning about, that it will build up so quick on you. This is going to get you like the demi-human string for, you know, crafting purposes. Then from here we'll remove our marker. We're going to jump on back to cliffroad terminus. Damn. I feel like 5 minutes ago I said that we were, you know, only 20 minutes in. Now we're almost 45, so gotta love it. Alright, so we should be able to fit the rest. That's what we're going to be doing this episode, is just, you know, just knocking out this whole area. So last episode we ran over here by this pond for revered spirit ash. We've already done this, we're not worried about it. So what we're going to be doing here is just clearing out this village very quickly, then shooting on back over to that church we did last episode. So as soon as you leave your side of grace, it's like straight ahead. Now there's a particular route you have to go. So like when you get here, you have to go up this little sidewall. There's going to be a lot of these big guys in this part. Can be, you know, could be difficult. It'd be really easy to get killed. So I like to crouch. You see the guy ahead, but there's a guy over here to your right. Now, if we could be quick about it. And you've seen the guy with like, the great hammer. Well, there's one that has a pitchfork type deal, and he actually has this guy. He actually has Moog's special ability. He can hold that with his spear up, and what's going to happen is he's going to drain your health with blood loss, just like Moog. So it's pretty terrifying when you got like fucking 4 of them around, as you may imagine. So once we take him out, we're going to go over here to the left, pick up your beast blood. Just to save the time, we'll hop on Torn. The next part you're about to get, this is where it gets bad. So as soon as you go out, just kind of circle to your left. I'm going to try not to move too fast here. And if you keep going to your left, that's just, you know, overlooking where we just were. So instead, we're going to go around this way. Did I miss it? I did. then this collapsed pillar will, kind of take us to the end here. Now this is where it steps up because there's a lot of these guys, like I said, they have Moog special ability. It's not a good time if you start getting caught by them. And these guys also have that extended combo, and look at them. There's a lot of them, right? This may help us. And we get summon here too. Get it off, get it off. Yeah, like fucked. Oh, he got me with a special. Bitch. Yeah, forget it. Like I said, we might be fucked on that one. I was trying to see if that would work because of the, the AoE potential of it, but it's okay. Like I said, it's probably not the worst idea just to summon for it. So, usually don't need to, but we're running out of time, so we'll probably do that. That put us right where we were. Cool, was not expecting that. Should have teach, but it's okay. Try to knock him down a bit hard. I figured we were about out of that. So now, yeah, there we go. Now life's gonna be a little bit easier. Try and get that combo off on me. Remember, if you know how to put together your character, remember it's going to be very, very powerful. If not, you could be very weak. So, Blood Fiend's Arm. So the Blood Fiend's Arm is like the big hammer you saw these guys use. If you look, it does have arcane scaling, so Strength Arcane doesn't have Blood Loss, but Blood Loss can be applied. Now, with that, if you can get the spear to drop, you have to farm it up. But that, I mean, you can get like fucking 100 and something blood loss put on that. It's crazy. And with all that wrapped up, we could finally get the +5 to Arcane Talisman. The only one that was not in the base game. Why make the players wait to the DLC is beyond me. At times, it makes me think that maybe all this was originally planned to be in the game, but then it just got so big that they didn't add it in because you had a blood loss zone, but you didn't have that +5 talisman to arcane. So I always found that kind of odd. Either way, guys, once we have that, we can just jump on back to Cliffroad Terminus. Now we're just going straight for the church. Like I said, we're not going to cover things we've already covered. That's why you got to follow along, especially when we're low on time. We just don't have the time to properly do this twice, right? But over there on the left hand side, you're going to see that little statue. That's your revered spirit ash, which we've already picked up. So now there's going to be a few locations. So that's the village we just did. So you're going to go straight to the bottom portion. Now when it comes to the Forager Brew, that's the guys who laid the Boris quest that's supposed to be like the best in the first game. They drop very unique cookbooks. There's a set amount for 6 or 7. I'd have to check later notes to confirm. But you don't want to miss any of these. For one, it's quest related. For two, they're really good. You don't get them in order either. So if you feel like you missed one because the first one you get is Forager Cookbook 2, don't worry. You just ain't found one yet. It might be later. So they're not in order. Just keep that in mind. No blood loss dog, please. Thank you. Alright, so on the map, that's all we did. That was your lower section. We're going to go ahead and clear all this. Then we'll be taking, the lowest section, we could say. I like the stormy weather, all that. It gives a pretty good touch to it. So do not attack him. Can't say this enough. This is a Forager Brew. You go up, you interact, you get a cookbook, and you get crafting every time. So like with this one, you can now craft fireproof pickled liver. Sorry guys, I need to go feed one of my animals. We're almost done, so we'll keep on pushing, and then I will go feed my cat before we do our next episode. I got so many. I went to fed all my cats earlier. One of them was outside, so I gotta find a way to feed him without making all the others want to eat. Fun shit. Alright, so going all the way down, we're just gonna clear these guys out. Once again, we've already done all this stuff, so we're just running straight. I'm gonna show people where the painting is. We've already picked this up, we've already done it. I'm not, doing it again, but we'll let you guys know where it's at. Don't fuck with these sheep, they'll mess your shit up. It looks like there's more to the area, there's not. So if you follow this around, just go uphill to your left hand side, you're gonna see a little hut. That is where your first painting is. Now we solved this in episode 1, so very briefly. You pick up the painting here. You're going to go exactly right where this lake is to the left. You'll see this little mass. It's like right here. That's where the painter's set. You're going to get the shield we're using now. So I did that in the first episode to get us a really solid medium shield, as I found that lacking in the base game. They were weird, like some are too wide. I don't like the shape of them. Stat-wise they're good, but they're too big or they're too small a lot of the times. So with that, I wanted to give everyone a solid shield. You're mainly dealing with fire enemies in the DLC because they're mesmer soldiers. It's very, very, very good fire defense, very good stats. And the guard boost on it's absolutely phenomenal. So, help carry some folks over. But either way, guys, from there, all we're going to do, same route we took at the end of last episode. We're just getting to the far right hand side. You're going to have one curse blade right here. Someone does not want to drop their weapon today. And then this church, we also covered this, is where we got your blessed blue dew talisman. So if you didn't follow along, you're going to get that right there. And then you would just go out the main door. And sitting right here on the ledge will be the armor set we have on. And once you've done all that, we can just jump on back to 3 paths across and get set up for next episode. Alright, y'all, so with that, we're going to go and wrap on up. So at this point, everything up to this bridge is, knocked out in full, 100% done. So next episode, what we'll be doing is just clearing everything around the lake, getting the lake done, and heading on into your first, I guess, catacomb tunnel-like area. They're called jails, but they're, very different from anything you've seen up to this point. So with that, you guys please stay tuned. Please subscribe for more walkthrough. I do appreciate y'all stopping by, and we'll catch you back here shortly.